That was rude. So, slam is not like golf, to quote some of my good friends from up the street, Chapel Hill. So, if you're moved by the words, you can make noises. So, give me a feel something that makes you want to just stop your feet for like, stop your feet. You want to hear something that says, go in, boy? Say, go in, boy.
Go in, boy.
Awesome. We work on the energy, and we would love for you guys to give us energy back up here. Do me a favor and give it up one time for LJ. He's a Just in case you haven't heard, Congress has passed an immigration bill. It forces everyone to take the assimilation reform test. Not only those that pass are citizens, but don't worry. That is why I am here with this prep test, to help you learn how to think like an American. Okay, let's get started with an easy question. In order to preserve this great union, under what circumstances would you kill someone? A, only if they were black. B, only if they were brown. Or C, only if they're not from here. Isn't it obvious? The answer is C. When it comes to race in our borders, think coloring books. The picture is only worth being seen if the color stays inside our lines. Yes. Morality is such a Crayola tribal concept that bends according to the temperature of its environment. So let's heat things up a bit. Which of the following is most justified? A, the shooting over the porches of Muhammad in Texas. B, the shooting at the AME Zion Church in South Carolina. Or C, the war on terror. Now this is a tricky one. Our court system, it prays at the altar of separation of church and state, so murder itself can only be ordained in the eyes of the law when religion is used as an alibi for war. Now you see why we ask for God to bless America. Are you starting to feel American yet? Is it starting to make sense why the First Amendment restricts laws against religion and the second is the right to bear arms? Your first two rights of freedom are just to restrict the way the bells of justice toll. Murder has a better ring to it when you call the victim a sacrificial lamb. Now, is that true or false? Depending on which news station you are borrowing your opinions from, innocent and insurgent can be the same thing, true or false. Or does it even matter? When in American truth, it's such a pliable concept. Have you ever noticed how it waves like the American flag, begging you to converse with its opinions until they sound so red, white, and factual? Sing us you're tired, you're hungry, and you're poor. And with empty hearts, pockets, and bellies, it is so easy for us to manipulate them when all we have to do is fill in their blanks question. Yes. When was killed by the police, we rioted. When you wanted in America, you protested. But when we all wanted change, we voted for it. But all that ever got us was. Now, when you are done, place your pencils down, turn over your rights, and wait quietly to be called an American.
Yes.
At the request of his mother, Jesus' first miracle was turning water to wine. When my mother asked how I was doing with my drinking, there wasn't enough miracle in me to stop those words from becoming tears. I wanted to tell her how I used to have a 2-drink minimum just to fall asleep, that I hadn't succumbed to alcohol poisoning in months now. I wanted to tell her that I am doing better and that she should believe me this time. When Mary asked Jesus to distill miracle from trial and tribulation, he responded that his time had not yet come, that the space between chance and miracle was measured in desperation, and no one should ever mistake living for God. Mom, I wish I told you how depressed I was, how I've been bottling up emotions for so long that by the time you called me an alcoholic, I could desperately hear them fermenting in my chest. And when you told me how my great-uncles drank themselves to death, it sounded like prophecy, like another reason to hate myself, another affliction to overflow by wanting to live. But what better place to put something that I don't want to spill out of myself than in a bottle? Jesus, when you turn water to wine that night, did anyone go home drunk? Stumbling over the words, miracles pour out of them like testimonial, hallelujah heaving, drunk off the Spirit, off the miracles from your hands. Was it a sin? Did you serve them and forgive them?
Yes.
Could you forgive me? When my mother asked how I was doing with my drinking, I wanted to tell her that I'm above the mouth, choking on a pronounced promise, trying not to sound out my uncle's mistakes. But it is so hard not to pronounce the body language you've been pronunciating your entire life. Learning not to spill over, but to open up and pour out takes time. Just like miracles. Jesus' first miracle was turning water to wine. But the most important miracle was that Mary, his mother, she believed in him. Mom, she believed that it could. During the filming of the movie The Django, Leonardo DiCaprio apologized for the language. He apologized for having to repeatedly call several African Americans in the film nigger. Samuel L. Jackson answered this apology saying, for us, it's just another Tuesday. Somewhere, at some time, someone dressed in inheritance, privileged, sipping on bourbon, spills his slurred opinions like intoxicants, like intelligence. He says that Thomas Jefferson clearly wasn't a racist. Like there was romance in the taking. Like the rape of his slave Sally Hemings is just another form of gentrification, and her brownstone body just needs a new lease on life. Like we haven't been moved enough. Like I can't tell that he's trying to evict an emotion out of me. He wants to prove that all black people, we don't speak in open palm, only in full fist phrases. But I am run on sentences of knuckles and knock him the fuck out. I am foot in ass punctuations. I am a revolutionary rock into his glass jaw. I am all fight. But my ancestors don't. So I don't. And we don't ever get the chance to be right and righteous. These brown hands can somehow blacken a whole race when the world that labels you as colored is taught to paint by the picture wheel. We are seen as pictures on the pigment wheel. We are pigmented into our place, destined to have America see us as having 3/5 of complete history, but we expected to speak like we have all the same America, all the blood-footed mouths picked out of our cotton, like we can't see that slavery is now tailor-suited and hanging up in the 13th Amendment of our thrift store Constitution. It's no wonder they speak inmate numbers like price tags, redesign districts to discount education. They still see us like they own us. And we expected to love this America? How can we ever love someone that treats us like a possession? How could Sally Hemings know love when she never had the freedom to give it? So here I am at this bar with the fist full of freedom. So I educate in hopes that he'll look back tomorrow and see the wrong, be the change, be sorry. But for me, it'll always be just another Tuesday.